Morning and welcome. You may be excited, but you're probably not as excited as us to welcome you to the college and to your program. My name's Jane Harford and I am the course coordinator for the Bachelor of Health Sciences. So for those of you who are in a double degree program, Rowena, who I'll introduce in a few minutes, and I are the people who will take care of all of the course administration issues, concerns, questions that you have. And we'll do that in conjunction with the coordinators of each of the master's programs that you're enrolled in, depending on who you are. So if you're enrolled in optometry, that will be Jason Booth. If you're enrolled in the occupational therapy double degree, that will be Elise. And if you're enrolled in the physiotherapy double degree, that will be Claire. And we'll work closely with them, and over time, gradually, we'll hand responsibility for you and your enrolment administration, your course administration, over to the master's coordinators when you're there. There'll be a few people in the room who are enrolled in a standalone degree, so not currently joined to a master's. Have we got a few of those people in the room? Handful that I spoke to earlier. Okay, so welcome to all of you. Before I start, I would like to acknowledge that I have the privilege of living and working on the unceded lands of the Kaurna people. This is a place of learning and of research, and for all of the time of human habitation, these have been lands of science and research. And within our program, we endeavour to ensure that where it's appropriate, come on in, the voices of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples are evident in our teaching. I am expecting Ivanka to come and join us. She did mention that she'd been caught up with something, but she will come and join us, our academic lead. I'll have a chat to you and we'll go through some essentials. Our goal today is for you to leave feeling like you've got it sorted for next week. Okay? There'll be lots of new things that you'll need to learn over the next few months. Our purpose today is, are you okay for next week? So we'll present some information that students have told us over the years that is useful to them in getting started here. And then we'll hang around at the end and answer any questions that you have that we can. I'll introduce you to Rowena, who's our student engagement coordinator, and she'll talk to you about a few things, and also the topic coordinators, so the people who coordinate the topics that are coded HLTH, which are the majority of the topics that you'll do in first year. The people who coordinate those topics in semester one will come and say hello so that you can see their faces. We don't expect you to remember all our names, and there's a BHS general information flow site where we'll drop a document that has links to where you can find that kind of information if you need it. We'll talk a little bit about safety on campus, and we have Dylan here, who is going into third year in the BHS. Who has a wealth of experience and has been active in just about as many ways as you can be as a student, and Dylan will talk a little bit about some things that they've learnt that you might find useful to hear, but also some opportunities to become involved in being a student representative, and also the Health Science Students Club. We'll have time for a question and answer, and for those of you who are not yet familiar with the campus, we'll take you on a bit of a tour and help you to identify the key landmarks that will help you to find your way around in the early weeks. And then there'll be lunch down in the quadrangle by the Student Association. And I encourage you, if you're able to stay and chat and get to know some of your future partners in study. Okay, so this is me. Any questions that you have that are at a course level while you're an undergraduate, ideally they can come to me. You can also use the Ask Flinders query, and if it's a question for me, the team will send it to me, and my phone number is there. I'm away from my desk quite a bit, so email is usually best, but if I'm there, I will answer the phone. And if I'm not there, it will go through to voicemail, and I'll be able to pick that up. So what are the sorts of essentials that students have talked to us about over the years? So we have a lot of people who are involved in health sciences programs generally. A number of you are in the groups who've already met with your master's teaching team. But for the standalone health science degree, we have a number of specialisations, and generally we have about 250 students a year enrol in those. I gather one of the questions in the occupational therapy meeting was, how do I get onto the web? So these are the details here. I'll put these slides into our BHS General flow site, and I'll post an announcement to let you know when they're there, in case you want to go back and look at anything. We use a network called EduRoam, and you can access that from any university campus in Australia. So if you happen to be in town and on campus at Adelaide Uni or Uni SA, or you can sneak on campus, you can access the web there. The university has a number of resources that are specifically designed to help new students not to have to hunt around to find the information that they need. I'm not saying you'll find everything you need there, but it's a good place to start. So there's a new student section of Compass that helps you to work through administrative tasks, like making sure that you're properly enrolled in topics and registered for your tutorials. If any of you are concerned about your enrolment, so the topics you've selected or tutorials, workshops, please let us know, and we'll just check everything and make sure that if anything needs to be sorted out, we get that done before teaching starts. And if you really don't know where to start, a query to Flinders Connect or Ask Flinders will get directed by the team there to the appropriate person. So don't invest a lot of time hunting around for what you need. If you have a quick look and you can't find it, make use of these resources that are available to you. You should have a student ID card. You'll need that if you want to borrow anything from the library, but it's also useful for a whole range of other concessions that you might want to access as well. Okay, this slide has details about how to enrol in topics and register for classes. I'm not going to read it in detail, but it will be on the website. The pack will be on the website so that you can go and have a look at it if you need to, again, in the next few weeks. Okay, how do we teach at Flinders? So I've been at Flinders for 7 years. Actually, I'll just introduce myself a little bit first. So I said my name's Jane. I have a reasonably long history working in health-related organisations and different parts of universities in Adelaide. I started my professional working life as a registered nurse, and then I moved into health administration and spent some time in the medical administration area of a large public hospital in Melbourne that eventually became part of Monash Medical Centre. I've worked for the Commonwealth Government in their aged care program, working with aged care providers to provide residential care facilities in particular, but also community care facilities. And I've worked in a number of teaching and research roles around public health and particularly public dental health. So for a number of years I was heavily involved in trying to develop a research base and an evidence base around the need to improve access to oral health services for Australians. When I started at Flinders 7 years ago, we had an online learning system, but most of the learning that we did was face-to-face. We got a bit of a kick in the pants when COVID hit, and we had to move a lot of things online. And actually we started to learn that there's a lot that we can do online reasonably well. So we try as much as possible, even if you're a face-to-face student, to make sure that the online environment really supports your learning. Having said that, we still encourage you, if you're an on-campus student, to come to your workshops and tutorials and laboratories because they really are the best way to learn, hands down. Our learning environment is called Flinders Learning Online, and you'll hear people referring to it as Flow. The piece of software that we use to run that is called Canvas, so sometimes people will say Canvas, but they're talking about Flow. Can I just get an indication, has anybody got onto Flow yet? Okay. Can you keep your hand up if it was really straightforward, you found everything you need? Okay. So, do I need to do a quick show and tell? Okay. All right. So you should have access to all your topics now. Topics are available from 1 minute past midnight in O week. You won't necessarily be able to see all of the learning activities for the semester, but you should be able to see introductory information, and most of you will be able to see week 1 learning activities now. So I strongly recommend getting onto those Flow sites, finding the information that describes the topic and the way the topic will be run. Click on the Assignments tab in the topic navigation menu and look at your due dates. Get those into a diary and map backwards to set aside time so that you've got plenty of time to work on those assignments so that you don't leave them till the last minute. There's nothing that sends a shudder through a university teacher like a student saying, I'm going to bash that out tonight. Okay, so get ahead with your planning. We already had one question about parking. Parking is free this week, but from next week, if you park on campus, you will need to pay for that. And the security team, because particularly in the early weeks of semester, parking is scarce, they're pretty hot on checking to make sure that everybody who's parked has either paid for a ticket or logged in and set a parking session in the app, and we'll talk about the app in a minute. We now have a train from the city to Flinders and a bus service that will take you to most parts of both Tonsley and Bedford Park campus. And there's an app that you can use to track where those buses are and figure out which one you want to catch. I'll provide some information about the apps in a few minutes. And most of the buses the Adelaide Metro buses that come on campus will go up to the main campus, to the registry. And that's where their final set-off point, but they'll also stop, not at the moment because the bus stop is closed, but hopefully from next week they'll stop on on University Drive, just this side of FMC, the railway station. Parking's difficult in the first few weeks if you're not here by about 9 o'clock in the morning. So just if you are planning on parking, you might need to plan that. If you're coming to a class that's later in the morning, maybe go to the library for a little while you're waiting. Okay, detailed instructions about using the bus service. There is it's free, but they collect information about the number of people using the bus, so you need your student card to swipe on and swipe off just so that they can see how well the service is being used. Okay, some apps. These are probably the 3 apps that most of you will find most useful next week. They're all downloadable from the appropriate provider, depending on what kind of phone you have. Lost on Campus allows you to put in the location that you want to find, and it will show you, if you let it see where you are, it will show you a route from where you are to where you want to be, to the building at least. And it will show you a photograph of what the door to the room that you've asked for will look like. So it's quite helpful. It doesn't quite get you all the way, but it gets you to the right building and gives you an indication about what you should be looking for. Wollonga Charter are the group who run the campus loop buses, and to see where each of the buses are at any time of the day, you can log into that app and select Flinders University, and you can see on a map where those buses are. There's a few, it lags by about 5 or 10 seconds sometimes, but it's pretty accurate. And Cello Park is the app that is used to pay for parking on campus. There is one car park that has machine parking, but it has a 2-hour limit, so generally it won't be much use to you, and compared to what you pay using the app, it's quite expensive. And parking is, it adds up, but it's reasonably cheap here compared to if you're parking in the city, for example. Okay. Flinders has lots of scholarships for all kinds of things. Okay, so being a full-time student in particular, but being a student is hard work. People will often make lots of financial sacrifices to do it, right? And the university recognises that and has a number of scholarships to support students in study. They're not just scholarships for high flyers, although we've got plenty of high flyers in the room, I know, because I teach you, but they're for all kinds of purposes and for a range of different groups of students. So have a look at that. Don't think that they might not apply to you, because there'll almost be something there that does apply to you. So have a look at those. Hopefully, if you need a textbook for a topic, you've found what it is and where to access it. But there will be information on all of your flow sites about what kinds of resources you'll need to access, what kinds of readings you'll need to access. But there is a central location where you can see where topic coordinators have nominated a particular textbook that they will use in the topic. Almost all required textbooks are kept as an e-book in the library. We do that because it's an equity issue to ensure that the cost of textbooks doesn't prevent students from being able to access essential learning materials. There's limitations to those though. Generally, they have a limited number of people being able to access them at a single time, and often that's 3 or 5 people, so it's a very small number of people compared to the number of people who'll be in the topic that you're in. So if a class is on, you won't be able to access it. I know that from experience, a lot of frustrated students. So if you want to access those, it's best to do it when there are not classes for the topic, and I have never had any problem accessing a textbook that I've needed after hours. So if you're able to plan to access the library resources after hours, you shouldn't have any problems. The other limitation is that they don't let you download the whole book. They'll let you download a limited number of pages usually. So that means that you'll need to be strategic about how you access and use that resource as well. So bear those two things in mind, that even although there are ebooks in the library for all of the textbooks, they may not be a straightforward thing to access, and you need to plan for them. Okay. I was going to introduce topic coordinators, but we're running ahead of time and they're not here yet. So what I'm going to do, if that's all right, is introduce to you Dylan, who is, as I mentioned, going into the 3rd year of their degree, and a pretty smart person who is going to share some of their wisdom, but also talk about being a student rep and the Health Sciences Student Club. Thank you.
Thank you. So with that lovely introduction, hi, I'm Dylan. So I'm 3rd year in Health Sciences Psychology. So I'm doing just the main baseline, standalone. Thank you. Degree, and then it's mixed in with some psych subjects as well. So there's lots of like the health psychology stuff, which is quite cool. some of the stuff I wished I had known when I first started was where to get the cheap textbooks. So on the Lost on Campus app, people will sell a lot of their second-hand books, and most of the time they're like brand new anyway, so very smart idea to use that. I've used it a few times. Some of the other things is with the scholarships, like Dr. Hartford was saying before. If you call up finance, they'll actually help you find the tailored ones for you. So there are a lot of ones which will have a confusing jargon in them, and they can help pinpoint the ones that are best suited for you. Some of the other things is FUSA actually has grants, so if you do need to get textbooks and stuff, they can actually help you out. So you can just put in an application, and once it's approved, they'll give you a set amount of money, and you can use that towards textbooks, or if you need to get any other certificates, so like first aid or something, they can help pay for that. We have the Self Sciences Club, so I'm the current secretary. I thought the president was going to be here today. I did speak to him, but he's not here, so that's all right. So we'll have our annual meeting soon where all the positions will be up for anyone to grab. I'm assuming as soon as that date's set, we will have that put on Flow. So the Health Sciences Club is a club for, like an academic club for students. We do a whole bunch of different events throughout the year. So last year we did a movie night, we watched Patch Adams. We paid for pizza, we did lots of fun stuff like that. And last year we did a trivia night. So those are some of the things we did. We also tried to do some educational things with the club as well. So if there's certain skill sets that we can provide, we can do that for students. Usually that would be free, otherwise it might be like a $5 ticket cost or something like that. So I've done 2 years of course repping, is that right? Is that a word?
Yeah.
I'm into my 3rd year. So that is kind of being a liaison between the students and the staff, making sure that feedback is getting back. So, for example, I've had students say to me that with giving feedback, they weren't comfortable doing it because they didn't want, if it's bad feedback, to make the person or the lecturer feel bad. So they can pass it on to me. I can make it so it's less personalised and give back the feedback so it's actually useful. That didn't sound right, did it?
Well, look, I knew what you meant.
You knew what I meant.
Yeah.
So that it comes across as productive instead of just complaining. Because if you're just complaining, most of the time it can't really get resolved, whereas if you're giving feedback in a constructive way, something can be done and it can help either yourself or future students.
We can't fix it if we don't know about it.
Exactly. Talk to the academics a lot. They are a wealth of knowledge. I did that, like my mistake first semester of my first year was I wasn't very vocal talking to my academic lecturers, and I found out very quickly that's very hard to do. You need to be able to communicate with them. You need to have that confidence that they can help you. And if there is an issue between a tutor or a topic coordinator, you can always go to Dr. Hartford or Dr. Sleem and they can help you because that's
their job.
That's their job. And they're quite good at their job. With doing the course repping, so there are certain other things so you can get involved with other opportunities around the college. So an example is I'm on the education committee, so I look at different topics and see how they can be changed. I look at different, like the structuring and the accreditation and stuff like that. And again, I take the student view of topics and courses to the dean of the college and say, hey, look, this is what the student feedback is. So that's just some of those things. What else? Try to have an open mind with your topics. Something I noticed is, especially with one of the topics that I can see listed on the screen, people came in with a very particular mindset and it was very hard for them to accept the content. So try to go in there with critical thinking and open to accepting the information that's been provided to you. Yeah, I think that's...
Sounds like you're saying that the teaching staff know what they're doing.
Yeah, the teaching staff know what they're doing, and it's good to take on that information for them, because otherwise you're going to get in trouble. You're going to get to like the end of semester and they're going to be like, hey, look, you didn't do too good.
Well, and everything that we teach will be important to you in your future practice. It may not be obvious to you at the moment, but it will become evident to you, particularly when you get out into practice.
And I can actually say I've actually found that myself. There was a few things where I'm like, I don't understand why we're doing this. And get to like second year and, well, second semester of second year, I'm like, I get it now. It makes sense. And a lot of the stuff with the particular topic I'm thinking of, it did structure on that building of that critical thinking where I can now sit there and go, well, why is it that it's this way? Why is that the answer? Why? And you're asking those questions that are very important, especially to doing your degrees, because you need to be able to sit there and analyse why something is.
And any health profession, it's a key skill.
It is.
Yep. Okay. Can I ask
if
anyone in the room has any questions for Dylan? Okay, it's horrible asking questions in this session, I know. But Dylan will be around later when we do tours, so you can sneak in and ask a quiet question on the side if you prefer. Okay, thank you very much.
Turn that off? No?
That's
Yeah,
all right.
there we go.
And while Dylan's been talking, our topic coordinators and some of our teaching staff have arrived. I'm going to go through the list of topics in the order that they're here. So these are the 5 core topics that all students in a health science degree will do in first year. You will all do 3 other topics, and students are flung far and wide across the university for those. So I'll first introduce you to Roweda, who will talk about the human bioscience topic.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Flinders. My name is Roweda Slim, so I'm the topic coordinator, as Jane said, for human bioscience. To give you just an idea about this topic, this year, this topic overall, it's going to provide you with basic knowledge regarding human body in terms of anatomy and physiology. Every week we'll be covering one of the body systems, and one of the exciting things this year we'll be running a project which is using an innovative way of teaching anatomy by using a body painting and Play-Doh, especially when we're going to run the musculoskeletal system. So get ready. Make sure your arms are ready, even maybe upper or lower limbs. And you're going to leave the session in terms of you've got heaps of body painting and the muscles are painting. So get ready. Another thing within this topic, we also you're going to have opportunity to dissect some of the, let's say, animal organs, such as a lamb heart. We're going to have a lamb brain. We're going to dissect it. Kidneys. We're going to have a plaque, or even as well a cow eye. We use inquiry-based learning in this topic, and to tell you, it's a very nice, interesting, amazing topic. Okay, so enjoy it, and if you've got any questions during the semester, make sure you contact me, and wish you all the best.
Thanks, Roweda. One of the things that I should have said about 3 or 4 times by now is ask questions. Just ask, okay? It's the best way to find out what the information that you need. And as I said earlier, we don't know there's an issue unless you tell us and ask the questions. So always ask the questions. Tori, would you like to talk about research and study skills?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Jane. So hi everyone, I'm Tori Llewellyn, and I coordinate research and study skills in semester 1. Matt Ankers will be coordinating in semester 2, so he hasn't come by today, but if you do take the topic in second semester, which hopefully none of you will, you should all be taking it this semester, but you'll get to meet Matt, and Matt's also a tutor this semester, so some of you may have him as a tutor. It's convenient, Jane, that you talked about asking questions and that Dylan talked about asking questions, because the very first week in Health 1010, which is very much on the study skills side of things and only a little bit on the research side of things, is about asking questions. It's the first step in evidence-based practice in research, is to ask the right questions. We're trying to encourage you to just ask questions. So it's really, really intimidating. You're all sitting there staring at me, trying not to make eye contact with each other, and you're going to feel that way probably for the first couple of weeks. So we're trying to focus on getting you guys to ask questions of each other, ask questions of us, and we'll build from there. So we start with some study skills, we start with some academic skills. That way you're getting them in one place as opposed to getting little bits and pieces everywhere across things and getting duplication. That's the first 3 weeks. We do a little bit of career planning and self-reflection. Some of you will like that idea, some of you won't, in week 4, and then we get into the nitty-gritty of basics of research. So just really introducing you to the research process, getting you to start engaging with some research, reading some simple studies, and just thinking about it and sharing with each other. So the key thing, ask questions, ask questions. Yes, there are stupid questions, but if you don't ask them, you make stupid mistakes and you'll feel sillier for that. So ask the questions. If you're thinking of them, guaranteed 3 other people around you are also thinking the same thing. Somebody please ask. But we do have lots of different ways for you to ask the questions in Health 1010 because we realise that it can be really intimidating to put your hand up at this stage. But hopefully by the end of semester, you'll be over that and you'll be able to go into second semester ready to ask all the questions you need to make the most of your learning and time at Flinders.
Yes, thank you. Tracy Ann. And Talia, okay.
Can we have a mic each?
You can have a mic each.
Thank you, Jane. Hi, everyone. Welcome. This is very exciting. I have an 18-year-old daughter who's starting university as well, and I know that it's both thrilling and daunting in equal measure. I'm Tracy Ann Rankin. I'm a non-Aboriginal woman, and I'm the topic coordinator for strengths-based approaches to health, working with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. And I'd like to acknowledge that we're on Kaurna country, unceded Kaurna Yata, and I acknowledge Kaurna ancestors and Kaurna elders, and I acknowledge the ancestors and elders of any Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander people in the room. So, strengths-based approaches to health is exactly that. We come from a position of challenging discourses around Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people's health by also offering strengths-based approaches. And we can use those in all settings, but it's particularly useful when we're working with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples because there's been a history of deficit discourse through colonisation and racism. We actually do a lot of critical reflections in our topic. And some of you might find that you've done enough reflections through SACE. Critical reflections are about you, yes, but they're also about systems and structures and institutions and power. And so we use some really great theories to talk about that. As I said, this is my colleague, Talia Johnson. She works with us, so you may have me as your tutor or Talia or one of our colleagues. Did you want to add something?
We do a lot of team teaching, hence why we can't do anything alone, so we're always got someone coming along.
Come with me.
But I'm a proud Warramunga literature woman and tutor into this topic, and we have a mixture of non-Aboriginal and Aboriginal academics teaching into this topic, which I think is actually really great because you won't get that at a lot of universities. So I think just coming into the topic with a really open mind, ready to learn, ready to reflect, and that will be your best way to get through and start to understand some of the things that we're going to be unpacking in class. I can feel I did my midwifery here at Flinders and graduated in 2016, so I know what it's like to be a new student and come into this space, and it's very daunting, and you're probably feeling like this is a lot right now, but it does get easier, and first year feels like a whirlwind, but just try and do
be
a lot
easy
of
on
reflecting.
yourself. Yeah. Yep. And know that this is new and therefore you're not going to know it all, and none of us can really do that. So,
But we can help you.
we're here to help. All right, we'll see you around. Enjoy the first few weeks and reach out to us if you need to chat about the topic at any time. Thank you, Jane.
Thank you.
It's a bit sweaty. sorry.
Oh, that's all right. So one of the topics that you'll do in first year is the interpersonal and interprofessional communication topic. Jen Fish, who is the coordinator, unfortunately is sick today. Jen has young children and she's picked up a virus from one of her children. So she's doing us all a favour and staying away so she doesn't infect us today. I can imagine that you can imagine that communication skills are crucial to effective professional practice as a health professional. So we start early in our programs introducing you to skills that you can build over the course of your studies so that when you graduate you are an excellent communicator for the purposes of your work as a health professional, both with clients but also working with other health professionals. The majority of people who use health services in the 21st century have complex health issues and require care across multiple providers. And interdisciplinary care, so care where a number of different health professionals are working with a person to provide them with the support that they need to live with the best health possible, is a really key part of practice these days. So we'll be starting you on that journey in that topic. Oh, and then me, sorry. I can put these away. I'm the last topic on the list, and I apologise because I neglected to change the title of that topic, which is now called Health and Illness and Health and Social Care in Australia. So it's a topic where we start to introduce you to thinking about what it means to be healthy. So what do we mean when we say health? Because people have different ideas about it. And it's important both in your studies but in your practice to be really clear about what your idea of health is, but also that other people might have a different idea about what it means to be healthy, and that's important to recognise that those differences might exist and to work with people to find common ground to work on. We also look at a range of factors that influence health. Generally, when we see media about health, it tends to be what we call very biomedical, looking inside the body. And our focus in this topic is thinking about what are the factors outside of the body that influence health. And then we spend some time looking at the Australian healthcare system. So you'll start to learn about some of the organisations and structures and the ways that health services get funded, and start to develop some skills for thinking critically again about our health system and how well it delivers on the promises that it makes, what that means for health outcomes, but also what some of the impacts of that might be for your future clinical practice. Because if nobody's paying for the service, nobody's using the service. So these are really key questions. Okay, I'm going to, I won't change my slides because I'll lose them, but Ivanka, who I mentioned earlier, has joined us, and so I'll ask Ivanka just to say a few words. Thanks.
Thanks, Jane. So I'm Ivanka Pritchard. I'm the academic lead for health sciences here at Flinders University. So as Jane would have gone through earlier, responsible for this wonderful team, interacting with everyone as students, our student reps, and you'll likely see me later on as you go through your years. So I'm peppered throughout some guest lectures in some of the year levels, and then coordinate at third year and contribute quite a lot to our honours program as well. I think the wonderful team has probably covered pretty much everything for you. Just wanted to say congratulations for choosing a career in health, or for thinking about health as somewhere where you want to be in the future, whether that's just broadly health, whether that's OT, physio, optometry, or any of the other specialisations that we have within the degree. It's a really wonderful place to be. There's lots of challenges, but those challenges are really rewarding when you overcome them. And so there's lots of rewards from a career in health. So welcome, and as the team has said, please reach out at any point in time for any questions that you might have. Thanks, Jane.
Thank you. So bear with me because I've I've played with the order, and so I'm just going to run through some slides that we've already covered. But there are some QR codes which you can use to get further information about being a student rep and also about the Health Sciences Club. Okay, I'm going to sit down now for a few minutes, and I'm going to ask Rowena to come back up and talk to you again. So this time Rowena will be talking to you as the Student Engagement Coordinator. So Rowena and I work very closely together on course level issues, but also working with students as well when issues arise. So over to you.
Thank you, Jane. I'm going to fix my mic. Okay, so hi again. As Jane mentioned, I'm also wear the hat of Student Engagement Coordinator. You might be asking what's going to be my role other than being the topic coordinator for human bioscience. So if you want to, you can record as well this email. You'll find these slides later on the main BHS flow site. But I'm here today just to tell you about a study which is called as student and staff expectations and experiences. And this study in reality tried to find a clear understanding in terms of investigating the gap between the students' expectations when they start university and what the actual experience was by the end of the first year. So the coming slides, they are based on a study done by 3 main universities within South Australia, Flinders University and Adelaide Uni. And they surveyed more than 10,000 students, and also they surveyed high school teachers and also university staff. Now, the main reason I'm here today is that we know things that are going to help you as first year students. And as we always say, forewarned is forearmed. But before, you've got an idea how many hours you need to spend every week on each of the topics you are enrolled in? Any guesses? What do you think? Do you think 1 hour after, let's say, watching the lecture, attending your tutorial or workshop will be enough? Any guesses? Then 2? What do you think? Sorry? 6? Okay. Any other guesses? 10? Okay. 9? Yeah? Do you think 2 or 3 hours will be enough per topic each week? No. So what your friends in reality mentioned, they're right. So as an average, in reality, this study, they did find that an average between 6 to 10 hours you should put aside per topic. So in this case, if you are enrolled as a full-time student, now think about it, 4 topics multiplied by 10 hours, so it's a full-time job. So don't think that just attending your workshops, watching the lectures, it's gonna be enough. Now, you're gonna need still to put aside 6 to 10 hours, just again to make sure you're covering everything within each topic. So most of the first year students that they were surveyed, they had in reality unrealistic expectations. So around 80% of the 10,000 surveyed students, they thought, nah, it wasn't exactly the way they expected. So instead they had to put much more time in reality to be able to pass the topics and in the study. So this is in reality what the study found, that the recommended amount of study for university students is 6 to 10 hours per week per subject. So this is in this case equivalent to a full-time job. Now, the main reason as well in terms of this study, and I'm here to help you in terms of the preparation. Now, the majority of you maybe are high school students, you had as well maybe a gap year, or maybe you are here just for a career change. Now, keep in mind that your expectation that we're going to provide you with everything, it's not true, okay? So we want you to be always, when you're going to attend, we want you to be independent learner. We want you, when you attend, you're going to be prepared. So according to this study, they found that over half of the survey respondents, they found that school, they didn't adequately prepare them for university study, because in reality the teacher was always supervising them, providing them with everything they need. However, within the university, it's going to be totally different. You need to prepare yourself to be an independent learner. So they needed to be, they needed to be prepared to learn a range of new skills and to study independently. And this is going to be one of the things we're going to try to push you and make sure from the first semester you are prepared and ready to finish your degree. So we want to prepare you to be independent learner. And that's why within the majority of the topics, you're going to find there's going to be pre-work required before you're going to attend your workshop or your lab session. So for example, if I'm going to just reflect on human bioscience, before you're going to attend your session, whether it's going to be online or face-to-face, you're going to need to watch both lectures. You need to download your workbook, complete all the labeling questions and the sketchy questions, and then you attend your session. So this is in terms of preparation, and then later on I would expect after you finish your workshop or lab session, you're going to go back, make sure you completed all the workbook, all the questions, and you're ready for and also you complete the optional weekly quiz, and then you are ready for the next module, which is module 2, which is going to be something similar among all the other topics. You need to make sure that you are prepared, you are independent learner. So in this case, the project, they found that 71% of continuing students report that the standard of university work is different or extremely different to school work. So we're not going to tell you what exactly you need to do 100%. We're going to guide you, even in terms of the assignments. Now, so therefore, becoming an independent learner is one of the main skills you need to pass, and at the end, by 4 or 5 years, you finish your degree. So university, keep in mind, is totally different from school. The standard work, it is different, and you are required to do more work for themselves or for yourself. And therefore, you're gonna feel that you've got more freedom in terms of which assignment. So for example, with human bioscience, you're gonna have a case study assignment, and you're gonna have the opportunity to choose between 2 case studies. However, maybe if you're gonna be a high school student, you're gonna have a specific case study you need to complete. So you've got more freedom even in terms of the topics that you're gonna choose to do your assignment. You're gonna have several options or several maybe health conditions, and then you choose a specific health condition, and the freedom to explore the literature review, which literature you're gonna need to use. So the project as well, they found that over 2 over 3 of the new university students, they still believe that their university teacher will provide them all the materials needed for their learning. But in reality, we're not, because keep in mind that other than we do teaching, we run the topic, the majority of the topics as core topics, we've got large number of students, so you would expect every time you're gonna send us an email, give us a buffer of 2 days, 48 hours, and then you're gonna hear back from us. Also, we need to do, sometimes we need to attend a conference. Other teaching staff, they also are researchers, so they've got other work they need to do. So it's not just our role just to provide you everything you're gonna need. So we're not gonna always be available, but we are here to support you. But keep in mind, we also got other duties we need to do. So that's why, reality, you'll need to learn to source information yourself. So when you're gonna have an assignment about maybe osteoporosis, you need to go and use the resources available within the library, choose which article you need to, you're going to address in your paper, which in this case is gonna be more than 1 paper. And this is something you're gonna learn later on when you're going to do research and study skills. You'll be able to know in terms which paper you should choose when you're gonna do your search on, for example, Google Scholar or any of the databases. So this skill of searching for resources to complete your assignments will be addressed in one of the topics, which is gonna be research and study skills, and you'll be able to apply it on all the other topics. So again, as an acknowledgement regarding this study, it's been done and funded by the following these organizations. Now, what makes, in general, if I want to summarize everything I mentioned, what makes a good student? We want you to be, motivation is one of the main factors. We want you to be very motivated to come attend your sessions. Be organized. So organization, have this skill, it's very important. Have a plan. For example, after you finish your workshop today, or whatever topic you've got, you're gonna go home, you're gonna spend maybe 1 or 2 hours to do a few bits related to the coming assignment. So be more organized in terms of your time, because you're gonna find maybe if you are full-time student, that every week maybe you're gonna have an assignment. So in case you're not organized, therefore you're not gonna be able to meet the expectations of the topic. Preparation is also important. In this case, make sure you watch the weekly lectures across all the topics you are enrolled in, complete any pre-work, attend the workshops or the tutorial sessions, make sure everything you need to do after as post-workshop work, you're gonna complete it. Engagement. So we want you as well to engage in the class. So we don't want you just to come, attend, and that's it. So we want you as well to bring your experience, whether your topic or the course you're doing, it's going to be as a career change for you. We want you to engage with your friends, with your peers, and also with your tutor. Now, commitment and drive. We want you to be committed that if you've got an assignment, you've got a due date, you're going to achieve this expectation. And also, it is important to believe in yourselves. So believe in yourself that you're going to do it means you will do it. So this is one of the things. If you think that, no, I don't think I'm going to do it, you're working in terms of reverse affecting your psychology or your mental health. So always believe that you're going to be able to meet the expectations of the topic, and think about it by the end of, from now till 5 years, you're going to be just graduated with your degree, okay? So always remember that the road, it's not going to be maybe easy, but at the end of they're going to be light at the end of the tunnel, and hopefully it's not going to be the train, it's just you've got your degree, your graduation. You're going to graduate, and you're going to have your dream job. Now, we are here, as I mentioned, maybe you're feeling now a bit overwhelmed, but remember, we are here to help. So always be willing in terms to seek help, knowing that my role and this is now what you're going to know about my role, will be to support you. So whatever obstacles you've got, always let us know what's going on. Whether something financial issues is going on, whether maybe relationship, family problems, let us know. Keep your topic coordinators aware about what's going on. Now, what else gonna help? Make friends. So we'll start this process from today. It's good to be connected with your peers. And you're gonna find across the topics, they're gonna be work group assignments. And in this case, you will be able to know more your friends within your main specialization, and also have connections with other specializations. Now, talk to family and loved ones about your study commitment. Involve them. So in this case, if you're during, let's say, human bioscience, you're gonna do body painting, go home, tell your mom or your family about what's the name of these muscles, about the name of the bones, or even if we're gonna, let's say, dissect a lamb heart, go tell them what you've done. Even if we're gonna do ECG, go share exactly what you're doing reflect on what you're doing. So talk to family and loved ones about the activities you're doing within your topics. Engage in your class, as I mentioned before, watch lectures. There are gonna be as well reading you need to do. Spend time on campus. We don't want you all the time, the workshop is done, you go straight away home now. You can do your, let's say, the post-work requirement, whether maybe you're going to think about an assignment, you want to work on your assignment, go to the library with your friends, go together and stay on campus. Make sure you always allocate sufficient time for study. Time management as well, organization, is very important. Make sure if you are a full-time student not to work much. So around 15 hours per week or even less will be fine. Make sure you're gonna have this balance between uni life, work, and family. And if you need anything, always ask for help. Now, the main key dates for semester 1, this week will be all week. Next week, all the classes will start. We're going to have Connect Week, which is going to be starting, which is going to be week 1. Week 2 will be the last day to enroll in topics. Week 5 will be the census day, and week 9 will be the last day to withdraw without failure. Now, what's going to be exactly my role as a student engagement coordinator? So if you need support in your studies, if you need help, so rather than dropping out or leave yourself to struggle, just seek help and seek help early. So I'll be able to help you in terms of your course planning, family or financial issues. I'll be able to send you to the required services, student advice, academic issues, and also access university support services. So my contact details, you'll find them now on this slide, and I prefer to contact me via email instead of the phone by calling me, because in reality, I'm not going to be all the time in my office. Now, any questions regarding my role or in terms of the help that I'll be able to provide you? Okay. Now, another thing, it's not only just we want to support you from the aspect of education as academic support, we also care about you in terms of safety. So my role as well within this college, I'm the co-team leader for Respect Now Always, which is the first word group within Australia that they play a role in terms of raising awareness of sexual assault and sexual harassment. So as a role, we want everyone within this campus and as well within Flinders that they're gonna feel safe. So if you experience or witness unacceptable behavior or harassment, please make a confidential report. And this is what you're gonna find across the campus. You're gonna see these posters. So these posters, they're gonna include a barcode in case you wanna report any case. So for example, I saw them being harassed, so I stepped in, then reported it. The other one, I saw them being harassed, so I stepped in as well and reported it. So I know that images, maybe it's a bit more gendered, these posters, but if you see them, this is the aim of these posters, to report any case of sexual harassment or assault, and therefore someone within the college will call you and provide support. So you can lodge a report. It can be confidential without writing any name. It's fine, but at least we know what's going on. If you want to be known, then you write your name. And also, one of the things you need to keep in mind, no one will be able to know, even if you're going to write your name, except the people who's going to be responsible to connect with you and provide you with support. Even if someone, hopefully not that, they've experienced sexual assault or harassment outside campus, they can come to Flinders and will be able to provide you with counseling services, and it's going to be free. So the way to report any case related to safety, so one of the things will be if you go to safety on campus within Flinders, and then there's going to be an icon, you click it about reporting it. Another one, you can email student EO, which is, and then at Flinders. You can call them, or if you find these posters, just scan this barcode. So making a report doesn't initiate in reality a complaint. It's just the first step, just to offer you confidential support and information on what you can do next and how we can help you. So this is in terms of what we've got. So as a support for the victims, it can be through Flinders Health Counselling and Disability Services. Also Yarrow Place, they provide free services for victims of sexual harassment and harassment. Also, we've got within the Flinders University, the equal opportunity, as well they provide support. Now, another thing, it is important in terms of your safety. It is important that everyone saves on the phone the security number. So the main reason for this, maybe you're leaving a bit late at 5 o'clock later on, it's going to be winter, and by 4 o'clock it's going to be a bit dark. Maybe you're not feeling safe to go to your car. Or maybe when you reach your car, you've got a flat tire. So even though the idea of not feeling safe, even you're going to see koala, and today I'm not sure if anyone saw the koala around the campus. So maybe you're scared, you've got this phobia. you need someone just to support you. So straight away, call the security and someone will gonna come and be with you, or even escort you maybe to the car park, to the station, or even wherever you need, okay? Or they're gonna stay with you until maybe RIA gonna come and fix your flat tire. So this number, please make sure you save it on your phone. Anytime you feel unsafe, you can call as well the security. Now, as RNA, you're gonna find later on during week 6 of semester 1 and semester 2, we'll be running a campaign called Safety on Campus. And we're gonna promote something called consent and respectful relationship, because we really care about you. We want everyone to feel safe. Even in terms, if you're crossing maybe between campuses and you feel that it's very dark, there should be extra lights, let us know, email me, and I'll be able to discuss it with the work health and safety within the college, okay? So make sure you're always safe during the whole time, not only just safe in terms of we looked after you from academic aspect, also from your safety as a human, as well your mental health. So what we can as well offer you, other than feeling safe, we want you as well to keep in mind, within Flinders, we offer you free health counseling and disability services. So if you want to see a doctor or nurse, it is free of charge. You can go there. If you are a domestic student, you can chat with a counselor, so they can help you whatever issues you've got. So you need to call this number and you book, or even email them. If you want to talk about a disability, the advisor about studying with mental health or a health condition, as well, you can contact them and access self-help resources. Now, any student who got maybe any disability or health, or they've got a special health condition, you can go to the disability within Flinders at flinders.edu.au, and they will be able to give you an access plan after they assess your case. The access plan will give all the students who got this access plan issued from the college, it's gonna give you up to 7 days an extension on your assignments or even your exam, okay? Once you receive the access plan from the counseling and disability services, make sure you're gonna forward the access plan to your topic coordinator. Now also we've got FUSA. So FUSA, which is gonna be the Flinders University Student Association. So it is highly recommended that you're gonna join the club and find your community. So they run heaps of activities. So community clubs such as Queer Collective, Students with Disabilities Association, Mature Age Students Collective. Also, they've got academic clubs such as the Business Students Association, Psychology Students Association, and Academic Science Club. Also, they've got cultural clubs such as the Hellenic Association, Indian Student Association, and Indonesian Students Association. Also, they run special events, and such as Performing Arts Society, Tabletop, and also Film Society. They've got as well political and social justice clubs and so on. So feel free later on to scan the barcode. You can also join them on the Facebook page they've got. For international students, it's not only we're gonna look after international students. Now, international students, they can still access counseling and disability services, but they're gonna be, I think they need to use their health insurance. But in terms of academic support, we also provide you with support. So we are here to support you to succeed in your study. So they will be able to answer your questions, share information, have confidential discussions with you, engage you as a volunteer, meet and greet service. They run orientation. They do social and fun activities. They issue letters and connect you with other support services. So I've got here the details in case you need them. And as we mentioned earlier, that these slides will be available on the BHS General Flow page. Also, we've got Oasis, and this is a student wellbeing center. They run heaps of activities within the Bedford Park, and when they're gonna come during week 6 to start, as well, they will be able to provide you with more ideas what exactly they do. So one of the things that they do Flinders Community Market, so you'll be able to go and get free food or even very cheap grocery stuff from there. They run conversation groups, they run as well the volunteer program, they run mental health or mental fitness programs or workshops. They also have a mindful yoga, also they do a forest walks and midday meditation. Now also what we've got within Flinders, we actively promote awareness of and respect of the diversity of staff and the students. So some of the services gonna include student success and well-being advisors. So we've got, and in this case, I prefer that first of all, you're gonna be in touch with me in case I'm gonna find you need this service. I'm happy to send you to the student success and well-being advisors. We've got the prayer rooms. In case you want to know where they are, let me know and I'll show you where you're going to find them, whether male or female in terms of biological sex. Also, they run, as I mentioned, Oasis, they run conversation groups. We've got the equal opportunity advisors, which in reality they deal with the cases of sexual harassment and sexual assault. We've got Pride Network, and soon Jane gonna talk about it. And we've got Good Vibes Experiments. So this is all from my side, so I'm gonna now ask Jane just to refer to this slide. And thank you.
Thank you, Rowena. Were there any questions for Rowena while I find my place? Nope. Okay. So I'll pick up from here and introduce the Pride Network. Flinders University is committed to providing a safe environment for all students and all staff. And Rowena has talked quite a bit about physical safety, but psychological safety is crucially important as well. The Pride Network is a network for all students and staff who are committed in particular to creating a safe and affirming environment for staff and students who are part of the LGBTQIA+ community. I encourage you all to look at their material, and if it's something that is of interest to you, to actually get involved, actively involved with the network. One of the things, there are two things that I want to particularly say about allyship. One is that as future health professionals in particular, but also as human beings, you will find yourself in a position where you're being called on to be an ally for somebody who is, for reasons totally out of their control, potentially being discriminated against. One of our fervent hopes for you is that we arm you with some tools to be able to step up and be an ally in those situations if that is something that you want to do. We talk about allyship a lot in some of the topics in the health science degree. The other thing that I would like to highlight is that many of us base our teaching in a human rights framework. And allyship, the Pride Network, Respect Now, Always, a number of those safety measures that Rowena has talked about are really a reflection of the university's, but also individual staff members' commitments to human rights. And human rights is something that we'll also ask you to think about in various places throughout your degree. Okay, so O Week. O Week's nearly finished, but orientation continues on for 3 weeks after this week at this university, because the university learned a few years ago that actually trying to pack everything into 1 week is just silly. There's too much going on, and the universities work really hard to try and roll out orientation-related material to you as you will start to need it as you settle into university life. So O Week is this week, and I'm really glad that you're here today or that you're watching this video online. This is an opportunity to kind of start to get your feel for your classmates, but also for staff members and the college. Okay, and I'm going to stop because I've just noticed Kevin's arrived. Have you come to speak, Kevin? Yeah. Yep, come on. So Kevin is also one of our students who finished their undergraduate.
Yep.
And is
Just
now...
finished this last year, actually.
Okay, so why don't you introduce yourself and then go ahead.
Hello. Okay. Oh, we have a lot of people here. That's good. That's good. So a bit of information about me. So my name is Kevin, and I'm an international student who came here to study Bachelor of Health Science and the Master of Physiotherapy. So I was here for the pathway. Can I just get a quick show of hands of people who are also here to study a double degree or pathway?
Just about everybody.
Oh, okay. That's good. So most of you already know what you want to study later on after Bachelor of Health Science. So that's a very great perk of the health science degree because it is a very general degree that allows you the opportunities to explore different fields and to really see what you want to study. Even though you may already come in with a mindset of what you want to study in the master's, you can always switch courses if when you figure out something that you want to study more. And Flinders is always keen to help you with that. And yeah, it's just a bit of an experience of my study life here at Flinders. So I arrived 2 years ago for my Bachelor of Health Science degree. I did my first year online because of COVID. I'm sure most of you remember that. So that was a pretty hard time for international students especially because we have to do everything online and we didn't have much of a practical experience. But after I arrived, the staff here is very, very kind. So all the classes, they understand the struggles of first-year students, especially as you make the transition from high school or secondary school to uni. So it's very common for you to miss your classes for your first few weeks or don't know exactly where everything is. So that's fine. Take it in, and I'm sure you'll do great in your second or third weeks. My experience with so I was actually in the Bachelor of Health Science Club as well. So that's a club where we started organizing 2 years ago. It happens before, but because of COVID, everything kind of stopped. But we were able to kind of pick it back up again. But the challenge with that is, like I was saying before, health science is a very general degree, so we have students who are studying for different pathway. So it's hard to get everyone together for events or connections, but we made it work somehow. We got a few quiz night going, and there's a few events that had pretty good feedback, and hopefully all of you sitting here have that passion and wants to organize some events as well later down the road. So the main thing about the Health Science Club, or I was a student rep as well for the Bachelor of Health Science program, and these opportunities presented me with a lot of different kind of chances to meet other students from other cohorts or to build a connection and relationship with your topic coordinators and other student reps alike. And that's I highly recommend you guys, because for your first few years, to be honest, your workload is not super intense. So you'll have some time to kind of explore your other extracurriculars or other clubs, or I really recommend you doing that because just to build that connections and network that can help you farther down the road. So yeah, that's just a bit about me. So if you'll have any questions, feel free to ask me. No? That's okay. That's all right. Oh, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So it just occurred to me, so one of the other things that particularly Dylan and Kevin have been very generous with as student reps is participating as student ambassadors. And so if they're looking familiar to you and you went to Open Day, both Dylan and Kevin were present as students on our booth at Open Day. So if they're looking familiar, that might be why. So being a student rep is a really crucial part of our management of the degrees, but also it opens up a number of opportunities for you to get involved in other activities around the university as well. So thank you. Okay, so I've already talked about flow, and the consensus is that everyone in the room is pretty much on board with that. If you've got any questions about flow that you want to ask me on the side later on, feel free. Flow's better than it used to be, but it can still be a tricky beast. So there's in flow, for each of your topics, there's a Finding Your Way module, which has a lot of useful early introductory information, including who the key people are in your topic and key information about that topic. So have a look at that. I really encourage you to spend some time getting familiar with Flinders and how the university works. One of our goals today is to get you started on that endeavour and to give you some touch points of what we think are key things that will be helpful to you in your early weeks of study. And over the next few weeks, next few months, you'll discover other things that you will want to know to support your study. But hopefully by then you'll have some skills to navigate the university systems, and of course, if you can't find what you want, you know what you have to do. Ask. Okay. So have a look at the student portal on the Flinders site in addition to your flow sites, because there's lots of links to useful resources and information there as well. It's always a good place to go back to in the future if you've got questions. Okay, and help is available. So everybody who has spoken to you today, and Dylan and Kevin may be generous with their time, but they're also studying full-time as well. So it's not their job to help you, but for the rest of us, help is available, and it's not just from us, but it's from the rest of the university. Next week, week 1, classes will start, and for most of your topics you will have, if you're studying on campus, a workshop or a tutorial that I implore you to attend. Meet other students who are doing the topic with you, who are in the tutorial or workshop with you, and also meet your tutors and start to build those relationships that will be really important for you to succeed in your studies. In Connect Week next week, there are a few activities going on. Some of those will happen here at Sturt. A number of them will be up on the other side of the creek on the main campus. But there's activities, quiz night, comedy shows, there'll be some fair days, they'll have different kinds of fun activities rolled out for you to be involved in, live music, and the clubs and societies will have booths set up on the main campus as well, as an easy go-to place to go and chat to people who are involved in some of those clubs that you might be interested in. And there's a website there where you can find that information. Okay. We've talked about Flow quite a bit. Ping is a newsletter, a student newsletter that's produced regularly by Flinders and should come to all students' emails that has useful information for students. It will provide you with updates on things like new scholarships that are available or other opportunities that might come up around Flinders, or let you know about things that are happening on campus or online that might be useful to you. There's some links there to the social sites for Flinders. There's also, if any of you are on Facebook, there's an Overheard at Flinders Facebook group which seems to have a very large membership, and lots of students in particular use Overheard to make announcements, but also to ask questions and get advice from other students. If you're on Facebook, you can contact the administrator of Overheard at Flinders, let them know that you're a student, and they'll pop you straight on to the site. Okay. Have a great semester. Okay? We'll do everything that we can in our roles to support you in doing that. if anything gets sticky, you're not sure what to do, you have any questions, you're having any doubts about anything, talk to us early. One of the most frustrating parts of my role, and I used to be the student engagement coordinator as well, is talking to a student in week 12 and everything has fallen apart. And there's been an issue since week 3 or week 4, but they've been too scared to come and talk to us. In week 3 or week 4 or even week 5, there were a whole bunch of things that we might have been able to do to help the student to get back on track. But in week 12, there's much less that we can do. So don't let fear of talking to us about things that are going on or that barriers that you're facing with study or things that aren't going right stop you from talking to us, because the sooner you do that, the more likely we are to be able to get the issue sorted out and set you back on the path that you want to be on. I can't stress that enough. Okay, early intervention is such, you'll learn that as health professionals, but also here, it's really important. Okay, any questions for me or anyone else who's here in the room? Okay, I give you the opportunity almost to every year. Nobody asks any questions in the big room, and then people will come and talk to us later, and that's fine. Okay, so we finished a few minutes early, which is excellent, earlier than we planned. The rest of the planned activities are, one, that if you're interested, some of us will take you on a brief tour of the Sturt campus and help you to pick out key places that will be useful for you to know about and start to figure out how you find your way around. And then there'll be lunch down in the quadrangle from midday, and I encourage you to stay and chat to your colleagues for that. I can't compete with you, I'm sorry, I'm not quite done. Can I get an indication with a show of hands of people who would like to go on a tour of the campus? Okay, excellent. So what I'm going to suggest is, it looks like there's about 3 groups. If you are and I'm going to send you off in groups with your double degree program or your group. So if you're in the Health Sciences Master of Physio program, can I get you to come down and be the first group? Are you up for a tour?
Yeah, I can.
You'd be the ideal person for these students, yeah, because I'll ask you questions. Okay, so it's really just out, around, show them the car parks, show them where the bus stop is, library. I don't mind. Okay. Yeah, you might need 2 of you anyway. Do you want to? So you might want to split into 2 groups, see how you go. So are all of you physio people who are going on a tour? Okay, follow. Okay, optometry. Health Sciences optometry. Feeling brave? Sure. Are you up for a tour? Yeah. Yep.
Sounds up for a tour.
Yeah, good. Okay, are all of you going on a tour? Everybody who's standing up? Okay, we might take 2 groups.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you get out, do you want to split them into 2 groups? Because I won't be able to hear you, although you're pretty good at projecting, I think. Rowena, have you got a microphone? I'll sort it. You go.
Thank you.
Okay. And then, all right. So Dylan and Rowena will organise you into manageable groups. All right. Anybody else who is interested in a tour? Okay, we'll gather down here. I'm just going to close down the laptop, close down the computer, and I'll join you.
I had my hand up for
Oh,
questions.
sorry, I didn't
that's
see
okay.
it.
No,
I'm
I
so
sorry.
sorry.
Up like afterwards. Just accessing like lectures online? Is that just through where like your announcements? will
Yeah,
come
so
through?
Flow,
Yeah.
in Flow, and you go to the weekly modules, it will
have
tell
all
you
there.
what you need to read
What
and
does
what
it
you
take
need to
you
watch.
through for like the or is it recorded or is it live?
No, so they'll mostly be recorded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they'll always be there.
So I gather students watch them on double speed.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, good.
And I speak slowly so that you can.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Okay, are you able to head? I'm going to go down to the lunch when I finish the tour. Which degree are you doing? How long have I had staying around? So I reckon I'm going to be about 15 minutes for the tour. Are you coming on a tour? Which degree? So, because we have got a chat with your optometry colleagues, but you can tell me if you think that's more, because you will, well, except that often you don't see them, it's not obvious who they are in class because you don't have any specific topics in first semester, so sometimes, but look, your call, whatever you prefer. Okay, all right, let's do that.
We're waving in opposite order. I'll do that. Happy to take some lunch and take them backwards as well.
So why don't you take the first half of this group and take the second half?
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. Not a problem. I've got one. Yeah. Print it out. See where I'm supposed to take them.
Alternatively, is there somewhere I can meet you after? So.
Yeah, well, we can do that in the cafeteria as soon as I get back.
Cafeteria, all right. Maybe I'll.
That's what you prefer? Yeah, absolutely. That way you have the best of both.
Yeah, get both. Yeah. All right.
I'm going to take half of you and then James going to take the other half. So you know this first one, and then we'll have a little tour around, and then
I'll follow on in a few minutes.
and then we'll return back.
No, we'll take you downstairs to the lunch.
A lunch at the end.
And then you can decide whether you stay. So we're just going to give them about 20 seconds to get ahead of us. Any questions for me while we're standing around? Nothing's come up?
I have a question, but it's like about a specific class, so it's probably not relevant to anyone else.
Well, ask, because we have to wait till we've got some room to move up now. Anyway.
The intro to occupational therapy at the moment is blocked off for Festival Plaza for students. I think I emailed I can't remember if I emailed specifically to you or I spoke to student services and they emailed on my behalf because I did call asking about it, whether it will like open up later.
So it should do because we are offering the topic groups. So your Festival Plaza?
So I originally was accepted into Festival Plaza for therapy studies, but then it changed and I got offered into the Masters. And so because the Masters is under Bedford, it wouldn't let me enroll. Like I enrolled and then they automatically kicked me out and said this is reserved for Festival Plaza students.
Okay. Can we catch up at the end of the tour?
I said it was probably not.
Yeah, no, it's good to know. All right, I think it's probably safe for us to